Hello, everyone. Welcome to this series that I've created for intermediate developers, people who are struggling with JavaScript. There are some concepts they don't really understand more. There are some mistakes they always make. So this series is for you. Okay, if you're an intermediate developer, you want to perfect your JavaScript skills. This series is for you. So today we are going to start with the mistakes. All right, mistakes that developers make, the mistake that JavaScript programmers make. The first one is um, the bug that breaks our apps. Especially, we are looking at the what's it called again? The equality operator. Today we are going to look at the equality operator. We have two types of equality operator. We have the double equal to sign, and we have the triple equal to sign. So what exactly are this, and how should we use it to really get the result that we want? Okay. Now, if your JavaScript is acting weird, returning unexpected results, or giving you frustrating bugs, there are chances that you're still using the double equal to operator instead of the triple equal to operator. And I'm going to explain the two of them in this video. So make sure you stick to watch to the end. I'm going to give you examples that will blow your mind and you will see the mistake that you've been making. So this tiny mistake causes hours of debugging. All right. If this small mistake can take hours, you're finding your bugs, you're trying to debug your code, you don't even know where it is. Intermediate developers fall for this a lot. I remember the first application I built. This gave me big problems. Okay. Now, today I'm going to show you exactly why and how to fix it once and for all, what you should be doing from now on. After today, you'll not be making these mistakes again. So I want you to stick around to the end for a surprising behavior of the null and the undefined. Okay. The null and the undefined, there is a behavior that if you don't know how to use it, it will blow your mind. So this surprise is going to blow your mind. Just stick around. Okay. So now let's explain the problem. Look at this code. The double equal to operator in JavaScript checks for equality, but it does type coercion. So now let me show you something here. Okay, before I go, let me show you something in the code here. So look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to say console zero, all right, equal to this zero. Okay, all right, and then I would also say console dot log, I would say true. Okay, so I will say control. Okay, I'll say zero equal to zero. So you can see look at it. We have the same, we are checking the same values. We are checking if this zero is equal to this one, and we're also checking if this one is equal to this one. But the difference is that we are using the difference is in the operator that we are using. So if I save this code now and then run this code, node, the name of the file is mistakes.js. Look at what happens. The first one gives me true, and the second one gives me false. Is this not inconsistent? So which one should you use? So let me explain now. One thing with the equality or this equality operator, the first equality operator, one thing with it is that of course, it checks whether the two values are equal. That's the main thing. But secondly, it will also do type conversion. It will do type conversion. In this case, now it is going to convert this. Remember that this is a string and this is a number type. Moreover, if you don't really understand data types, okay, if you don't really understand data types, I actually have some free YouTube tutorials on JavaScript, on web development and full stack development. I explained this thing in one of my tutorials. Okay, data types in JavaScript. Okay, so check for it. All right. Now, if you this is a string and this is a number data type. Now, for what this equality operator does is that it first of all checks for their equality, all right? But before that, it converts, before it checks for their equality, it will convert their data type. So in this case, it's going to convert this string to a number data type. And once now, if it converts this to a number data type, that means this becomes zero. All right, so zero equal to zero, it is true. Now, but the second one, this three equal to operator does not, this is called strict, the real name is strict equal to operator, while this one is non-strict. This is strict, this is non-strict. So the strict equal to operator does not do type conversion. It doesn't do type conversion before checking their equality. But this one, this non-strict equal operator, does type conversion before checking the equality. So now, if we come to this second one now, this one does not do type conversion. Do you understand? Since it doesn't do type conversion, this is a number data type and this is a string. There is no way that they can be equal. A number data type can never be equal to a string data type. So that is why we got false here. Do you understand? But the first one, this guy, the non-equal operator, does type conversion. First of all, converts this to it will convert this string zero to a number data type, and then this zero and this zero, after the conversion, they are now of the same data type, and then it is now true. So you can see now that this can cause problems for you. I'm going to show you, just stick to the end. I'm going to show you examples of how this thing causes problem. Okay. So now this is how it works. So the non-strict equal to operator in JavaScript checks for equality, but also does type coercion. Type coercion is type conversion. Okay. Now that means JavaScript tries to convert the values into the same type before comparing them. Do you understand? It converts the two values that you want to compare. It will convert them to the same data type first of all, and then to now compare their values. Okay, that the first step is converting them to the same data types, and then the second step is now checking if the values are equal. That sounds helpful, right? But that's not true. Sometimes this can be very, very devastating. It creates unexpected results. I'm going to show you an example. Just stick to the end. I'm going to show you examples. Okay. Now, before I continue with this example, all right, I wanted to, if you're enjoying this video already, I want you to like the video. I want you to share with your friend, okay, whoever that is an intermediate JavaScript developer, whoever is learning JavaScript. I want you to send this to them. Now, the thing is that if you comment, all right, if you like, if you share, it would improve the algorithm for YouTube to also share this thing to other people. This is a free tutorial that people would want to also see. Some of these things are not taught. Most of your tutors did not teach you this that I'm teaching you now. So hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, share this, and comment. If you're enjoying this video, type in the comment section, this is good. If you're enjoying this video, type in the comment section, this is good. So example one, let's take a look at numbers versus string. So look at these two values. This is exactly what I have shown you in that example. We are using non-strict equality operator here. So we are checking if 5, which is a number data type, is equal to a string of a 5, which is a string data type. Now, like I said, the equality or the non-strict equality operator will first of all do type conversion. It will convert this 5, this string 5, it will convert it to a number. After converting it, now both values are now numbers. So it will not check them, their equality, they are equal. But in this case, the strict equal to operator actually does not do type conversion. So the number 5 is not equal to the string 5. That is why we'll see false. Okay. So why is this dangerous? Now, the non-strict equal to operator converts 5 to 5. Do you understand? So it converts this 5 to the number 5. So you think you're comparing types, but you are not. You should not even be, but when you're doing your comparison should be comparing both the types and the value. Now, this non-strict equal to operator is very dangerous because it will go and convert the type for you, even without you knowing, even without you explicitly doing that. This will implicitly do it for you. So now the real bug scenario is this. Let's assume we have this let username equal to 18. It's a string. Oh, the data type is a string. And now if we now say if username is equal to 18, do this. Do you understand? So let's go and do this example. This video might be a little long. Just be patient with me. So now look at it. Let's assume that we have this age, user age is equal to 18. Now let's assume we are getting this thing from the user, and the data type here is a string. Remember. Now, if I say if age is equal to 18, all right, and then if it is 18, I want to console.log you are an adult. Okay, else else let me just copy console.log you are not an adult. Okay, so now look at what we are going to see here. Remember that this is a string data type, and we are doing some comparison here. Why this is going to be dangerous is that this is going to be true, even though that age here is a string data type. So if I take my mouse over it, you see that it's a string data type. Do you understand? Look at it. It's a string data type. And then this 18 here is a number data type. Okay, sorry, because it's not in a variable, that's why we are not saying any intelligence here. But this is a number data type, and this is a string data type. Now, this non-strict equality operator is going to compare the two. And what will happen? First of all, it will convert this one to a number data type and then compare the two. That is why this is going to run correctly. It will say you are an adult. So if I go on and run this, it say you are an adult. But this could be dangerous. All right, you should be your value should be comparison should be both for the type and for the value. But in this case, the non-equality operator, the non-strict equality operator is not doing that. So what you should always do is this: use the strict equality operator. Always short from today on, forget about using the non-strict equality operator. Now let's check this out. This code now is very, very predictable. We don't care whether whatever this is, we don't really care. This is going to check for us. So if I run this code again, it's going to give us you're not an adult. Do you understand? Because this is false. This is a string data type and this is a number data type. So there is no type conversion or type coercion before the comparison. So you can see that we got you are not an adult, and this is a predictable result. But if I go on now and change this thing to a number data type, if I save it now, it will now give us you are an adult, because this will now become true. This is a number data type and this is a number data type. So the bottom line here is that always use non-strict. You always use the strict equality operator. If you understand this example, I want you to type in the comment section example 1. Type in the comment section example 1. Okay, so this is the first example and we have seen the real bug scenario. So in this case, 18 is not a number. All right, this can break validation logic. This can break your code. You will be finding, oh, where is my code? Where am I getting it wrong? All right, this is very bad. Always use the strict equality operator. So now let's take a look at another one, the Boolean confusion. So remember, true, there is something we call truth value and there's something we call faulty value. So let me show you. And like I said, if you want to learn this, I have some tutorials that will teach you all this. So let me show you this thing. Okay. If I say let um, 0, all right, and then okay, sorry about that. If I say let age equal to 0, all right, and then I say let name equal to an empty string, and then okay, so there's something that in that type cohesion, okay, when you're this is a faulty value. Anything that is 0 or empty string, null, undefined, empty arrays, these are false values. But anything that is greater than 0, anything that is not an empty string, all right, anything that is not an empty array, it's a truth value. So when we try to do something like this, console.log true equal to 0. What do you think will happen here? First of all, we are using the non-strict equal to operator, the equality operator. Sorry, I'm not even pronouncing this thing well. This is non-strict equality operator. When you remember, first of all, it will convert the types, right? Now, we have true here and this is 0. So is this a truth value or a false value? It's a false value. So it will convert this 0 to false. Do you understand? That means true, it will not say is true equal to false. The answer will be false. So if I save this thing now and then go to run, it will say false. Now, because this is a false value, so this will be converted to false. All right. This will be converted to false, and this is true. So true is equal to false. It is false. All right. So now, but if I go on and say, the right thing, if you want to do this kind of comparison, always use your If you do this now, yes, it will still give us false because this is also a false value. All right. But the mistake here is that the danger here is that this 0 will be converted to false. So what if I have something like this? Okay, what if I have something like this? Guess what? Now this is no longer an empty string, right? This is no longer an empty string. It is no longer an empty string. So what happens? Since this is no longer an empty string, it is a true T value. So the non-equality, the non-strict equality operator will convert this thing to a true because it's a true T value. It's not an empty string. Convert it to true. So true equal to true will give us true, right? But in this case, there will be no type conversion here. So this is a Boolean value. This is a string value. The comparison cannot work because first of all, their types are not the same, so it will give us false. So if I save and run this code again, you will have a different result. All right? You will have a different result. So this is a string. All right? This is a truth value. And then, okay. So now, look at what we have here. Let's go to the slide. Okay, so I think my example wasn't making more sense. So this would, okay, so look at it because that zero will be converted to 0. All right, so that makes it a false value. So, but this is the best example here. If I run this code now, we will get true and false. But if I try to, okay, so now this is a truth value now. All right, but if I try to do the same thing here, okay, look at it. Okay, sorry. This is the best example. Sorry about that. Okay, now remember, this is a truth value. This is a truth value. So this one will be converted to true. So true equal to true will give us true. But here, there is no type conversion. So this is a string, this is a Boolean. This will no longer give us true anymore. So if I save it, run the code, the first one will give us true, the second one will give us false. Why? Because this was converted as a truth value. It was converted to true. So true equal to true will be true. But here, there's no type conversion before the comparison. So this is a string and this is a Boolean. So it will give us false. Okay. So you need to master this thing. So true equal to 1 is true. False equal to 0 is true. Do you understand? Because this will be, the one will be converted to true. All right, 0 will be converted to false. 1 is a truth value, 0 is a false value. So they will be converted to true and false respectively. So true equal to true will give us 1. But if you try to use the non-equality operator, all right, this will give us false. Because this is a number data type and this is a Boolean data type. So there's no type conversion here. And then the comparison will be false because first of all, they have to be the same data type before the comparison will happen. And here also gives us false. So just be careful with this. Okay. So real box scenario. Let's assume now we are saying if logged in is equal to 1. So this is going to, if logged in is true, all right, true equal to 1 is true. Do you understand? For the non-strict equality operator, true equal to 1 is true. So this will give, and our code will run. So this will give us unpredictable results. Okay, so if you understand this second scenario, I want you to type in example 2 in the comment section. So let's go to example 3. Let's look at working with empty string and zero madness. Some of these things I've already explained them, but let's take. This is an empty string and this is 0. All right. Now, what happens there is that there will be type conversion because we are using the non-strict equality operator. Remember that the non-strict equality operator always converts before comparison. It will convert this empty string to, this empty string is false, right? Because it's an empty string, so it will give us false. All right. Then this 0 is also false. So it's false equal to false. It will get false equal to false is true. All right. But in this case now, there will be no type conversion. All right. So it would only check string and number. No, you cannot it can't compare string and number data type. So the first, it will be false. Okay, because string can never be equal to number. All right. So even if they have the same value, because their data types are different, it will never be true. So here we have an empty string. Now, this string is no longer an empty string. Do you understand? All right. This is not an empty string. So this there is a space here. So this will also give us true. This is very dangerous. So the Reebok scenario is this. If you have something like an empty string like this, and then you're comparing an empty string to 0, it will give you what? True. But it might not be your intended action. It might not be what you predicted. So the bottom line is, don't you ever, when you're working with empty strings and zeros, all right, empty string and 0, if you're using the non-strict equality operator, it will always give you true. But if you're using the strict equality operator, it will give you false. And you should always use the equality operator. User didn't enter 0, but the condition still fire. So even though that this amount is not 0, it's an empty string, it is a different data type, and yet it is giving us true. This condition would also run. So always make sure that you do not use the non-strict equality operator. So if you understand this example 3, I want you to type in the comment section example 3. And if you have not liked this video already and you're enjoying this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, share with your friends, okay? All right, the next example is null and undefined. Now, taking you back to what I was explaining about truthy values and falsy values. Null and undefined, both of them are falsy. Do you understand? JavaScript will convert a null value to false, also convert an undefined value to false. Now, with this, look at it. What is going to happen here is that JavaScript is going to convert null to be false and convert undefined to be false. So null, false equal to false will give us true. Do you understand? So, but if you try to now use the strict equality operator, JavaScript is not going to do any type conversion, and null and undefined, they are not the same thing. So that is why it will give us false. Bottom line here is that when you're working with null or versus undefined, first of all, understand that two of them are two different things. They are two different data types. Null is different, undefined is different. Okay. And don't use the equality operator to check for their equality. Don't use the non-strict equality operator to check for their equality. Always use the strict equality operator. Okay. So why is this risky? Now look at it. This, okay, now let me give you this example. It seems like I have not done some example for some time now. So let's assume now that I say let age equal to null. Okay. Now this is valid. So I will now say if age equal to, I'm using the non-strict equality operator, is equal to undefined. This thing messed me up in my first project. This thing messed me up. I will say console.log hello, and then else I will say console.log hello. Okay? Or I will say bye. Now look at it. What do you think what will happen? This will give us true. This is going to give us true because we're using the non-strict equality operator, and it will convert this age that is null to false because it's a false value, and convert the undefined that is also false, convert it to false. So false equal to false will give us true. Do you understand? This code will run. Hello world will be printed out. You see, it gives us hello. All right. Now, you see, you might be looking at this thing as a very simple mistake. This thing can take you weeks or even months to find out where your error is coming from. But if I use the strict equality operator, okay, there will be no type conversion. This age will remain null and the undefined will remain null. So null equal, if it's not equal to undefined, no. First of all, they are not of the same data type, so there will be no comparison. So if I go on now and run, you will now see by. Do you understand? So make sure that you're doing this correctly. All right. So sometimes you want that, but most times you don't. In short, always avoid the non-strict equality operator. Okay. So now arrays and objects. Okay, these are silent killers. Look at this is an empty array. An empty array is falsy. All right. An empty array is falsy. An empty object is falsy. So this is an empty array. So JavaScript will convert it to false because of the non-strict equality operator. Then false equal to false will give us true. But in this case, there will be no type conversion. An array with an array. False is a Boolean value. So they are of different data types. So there will be no type conversion at all. There will be no comparison at all. So the same thing here. This is an empty value, an empty array, so it is false. 0 is also false. False equal to false is true. All right. So Reebok, and so imagine that you're working with a car, you're working with you're working on your e-commerce application, and you're checking at the user's cart. So you have an array called the cart items. So you're checking if the cart is empty, if the cart is empty. So you're saying if cart is equal to false. So if this is empty, if this cart is empty, this will return true. All right. But if it is not falsy, if it is not empty, it will not return true. So now, if you use this, you're going to have some issues. Always use the not the strict equality operator because it will check because both of them. This code is even wrong. You can use the array.isEmpty method. All right. You can use the array.isEmpty method. All right. Or you can check against the um you can use the array dot length equal to 0. Do you understand? To check this, this is even better. All right. So now an empty array is not false, but this non-strict equality operator says it is. All right, but this is not false. This is not even the best way to check for an empty array. So an empty array, the best way is to say the cat items dot length. You check it against if the length is 0 or not. Okay. All right. So this is the last example we are going to have. So in this case now, this is done manipulation. So we're actually getting the input like in a form. We are getting the input element and we are checking the value that the user has entered. So let's assume now we got the value and we are storing the value as input. Now, if we say is input equal to 0, all right, alert invalid input. Now look at it. If this input, if the user has not entered anything in the input, that means the input will be an empty string. So an empty string is equal to 0 with the non-strict equality operator. An empty string is false, 0 is false, so it will give you true, and this code will run. All right, so make sure if the user types this 0, all right, this 0 will be converted to 0, and 0 equal to 0 will be true. If the user types empty string, it will be true. All right. If the user also types this empty string like this, it will also be true. So these conditions will run unexpectedly. It is not even correct. So, but if you have used the strict equality operator, this code will not run. You will get it right. You will get it. Your code will be very predictable. Okay. So the golden rule here is this. If you are following so far, I want you to type the golden rule. Type the golden rule, like the video if you have not liked it so far, share with your friends, okay? And then comment golden rule. If you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, turn on notification because I'll be giving you tutorials like this that will help you hone your skills as a JavaScript developer. Always use the strict equality operator. If score equal to 0 with equality strict equality operator, this is perfect. All right. Very rare. Professionals use this 99%. Short 100% for me. I use the strict equality operator. All right. So the non-strict equality operator asks are we similar? All right. It's always asking the two values, are they similar? While the strict equality operator asks, are we exactly the same? All right. The strict equality operator checks, first of all, is the two values that you're trying to compare, are they of the same data type? If they are not of the same data type, there's no need for comparison. It will just return false. But if they are of the same data type, it will now go on to check their values. All right. So first of all, it will check their data type and then check their value. If their data types is the same, then it will go on to check their value. If their data types are not the same, it will not go on to check their value. But for this non-strict equality operator, it doesn't check. If it checks their data type, if their data types are not the same, it will try to convert it. First of all, convert it so that they will have similar data types and then compare. But the strict equality operator does not, after checking their data type, if it is not the same, it does not convert. Okay. So call to action. If this tip helped you, if this video helped you, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notification. Tomorrow, we are going to fix a bug that makes your for loops print the wrong numbers. So tomorrow, we'll be looking at some of the mistakes you make with your for loops. It's one of the most common mistakes even intermediate developers make, okay? Comment below Comment below. Have you ever been beaten by the non-strict equality operator? Have you ever made this mistake? If you ever made this mistake, comment yes in the comment section. Say yes, I have made this mistake. Okay, so subscribe for day 2 if you have not done that already. And tomorrow I'm going to share some common mistakes you should avoid while you using your for loop. Okay, so comment. I want you to also tell me in the comment section which JavaScript concept has been very difficult for you to understand. Tell me in the comment section and I'll make a video to explain it to you very well. Remember, share, like, comment, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. My name is Wanha Paulson. This is Paulson Simplifies Programming. I'll see you in the next class.